texting him.
Oh, okay, we'll wait just a moment then.
No, he is not.
Okay,
Okay. So do I just stand up and say, hey, me, or what?
well, it is 1 minute late, but we will start the meeting. Everyone will rise and face the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open the meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda?
One change is we will not have anything on number 6.
So number 6 will be eliminated. Any other things that anybody can see that need to be changed or modified in any way? If not, I need a motion to accept the agenda without item number 6.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the omission of number 6.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda as amended by removing item 6. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5, yes. Then we will move on to public input.
Okay, I have public input. The council has copies of the ad that was put out for the chief of police vacancy, and I highlighted it on your sheet. I checked with several other police departments in the area, and working directly with the city finance officer is not part of that. So I question that maybe the council should probably read through and approve what's put in as far as what's needed. Excuse me. The council needs to be aware of Larsen law enforcement, that their actions cause problems, and when they don't back certain employees, that they lose them. And we lost a police officer due to sexual harassment. She left us, and the council was advised of this. This isn't this council, but the past council was advised of it, and they did nothing. This individual, and I have documents to go on, he is on a federal watch list now. He was relieved of his certification, and he was a police chief here in 2013. We got to watch out for that, because when we mess with payrolls, and when we don't, as a council, as a community, when we don't do that, it isn't just being sued for tort or for damages. Sometimes that involves 2 or 3 times the amount. I do have a question on the water tower alarm. Is that still powered? I noticed that there was power to that building. Was the alarm not going off due to electrical being dug up or something? Are you aware of that? You don't know?
I think everything inside with respect to the alarms is functional. It's a valve issue, not an alarm issue.
Yeah. Okay. The last thing I need is I still have a sunshine or FOIA request. I still want to see those documents. I don't have to have copies, I just want to see and have access to it. The argument was made that it's private information, not if you send it out on a postcard through the mail, it isn't. So I will be checking on that. I think that's everything else. So do you have any questions? Oh, I did want to say that finally there is a retaining wall per the agreement. Kind of a day late and a dollar short, but.
It's almost 2 months
because-
early. He told me he wasn't gonna be able to get it done until August. So I'm very pleased that it's done in June.
Well, I think it was late because he knew, he was an engineer, he knew what he was supposed to be doing and that could have been done, so. But anyhow, aside from that, that's everything I have.
Is there any other public input?
Yes, I'd like to address the mayor and council.
Yes.
I'm here to talk about Austin. Back 45 years ago, for you people that don't know this, I was a policeman in Remsen, Iowa, for 13 years approximately. And I started out as a young man, just like he did, no experience. They took a chance on me. And I remember the things I went through being in a small community, the growth I had, the experience I had. It was overall a good one. And I've seen the growth in Austin here. And, you know, we're not close friends or anything, but I've been with him on a few different occasions when I was working for the previous outfit I was working for. Because, you know who I worked for before Rocks, I worked up here for the home. And we had some business to take care of. And I watched him. He was very professional, willing to learn. He's a taxpayer of this community. And I think if you give him that chance, and I don't care if you do have people that have more experience. You get a lot of those people, they don't stay. You got a guy here, I think, that will. And I think he's grown a lot, even just in this last several months. And I think he's up to the task. I would like to see him be given that chance when the time comes. That's what I have to say. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Thank you.
Carrie Hedden, Kerry.
Thank you.
Is there any other public input?
I got a call today about the weeds at the ambulance building. They're probably a couple feet tall. Every year, I think we go through this, and it's downtown, everybody sees it. One of the first things they see.
When you're talking about weeds, are they in like that boulevard area where the rock is?
That, yes, in their rock, you know, where they put rock on the east side of the driveway and then on the boulevard, and then they're full of weeds.
On the east side of the building, you know, there used to be a little area, and they even had, I mean, people plant milkweed. Why in the world they would plant milkweed is beyond me, but for butterflies and whatever. So, I know there were some plants in there that I would call weeds.
Yeah, well, it's pretty bad.
They were growing them on purpose.
I think, I have to agree, I think it looks awful, and
Okay.
that's one of the first things people see when they turn down Main Street. And is it their responsibility? It is, right?
We'll touch
I was
base
asked
with-
that too, and I thought it was, but
Yeah,
I told
they're
them I would.
responsible for their own grounds, just like anyone else.
We'll touch base with I'll talk to the assistant director, because I know John is the one, I think John's the one that normally does it, so,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I'll find out. I think he's on vacation, but I don't know that for sure.
Okay, and then the other thing would be vacating that alley. Where are we at on that?
Yes.
Now that Sam is back, we'll move forward on that.
Okay, all right.
What block is the alley on?
It's between Union and Hofstad and Fourth
Fourth
and
and Fifth.
Third.
Fourth and third, yeah.
Fourth and Third, yeah.
Is there any other public input? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 5, and I see that the Nielsen's are here, Jeff and Janine are here, and I believe that they would like to discuss with us this application.
It's, Sherry Oswald is here with him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we have to wait till 6:15?
Well,
No,
it's,
this is not the
this
public
is the
hearing.
motion to approve
Okay.
the public
All
hearing in
right.
July.
Okay, all right,
That's after this discussion, so we can discuss right now.
perfect.
I don't know if you want me to stand or what you'd like me to do, Mayor, but I'm Jeff Nielsen, Mayor and Council, and this is our Operations Manager, Sherry Oswald, for our store. And we would just like to apply for the package off-sale liquor license that's available in the city of Alcester. And we would like to responsibly sell packaged liquor in our store. And our goal is to try to grow our business and make use of the license for the benefit of both our store and the city, and collects tax revenue from the sale of packaged liquor. So we already have a packaged malt beverage license and a retail wine license, I believe it's called, if that's correct. So, and we're just here to answer your questions or concerns.
Jeff, as I understand, you have this kind of a sale liquor license in some of your other locations.
Yes, we do.
Have there been any issues with that?
No. No. And we take that, we take the responsibility of being issued the license very seriously, and it presents some challenges, but it's not so different that if you would walk into virtually any grocery store in Sioux Falls or any store in the surrounding area, that you're not walking into a store that's selling packaged liquor as well, so.
Well,
What kind of
Yes.
liquor is it?
It's packaged liquor, meaning, just for clarity's sake, if you granted us your license and approved that we had the license, that liquor could only be consumed off premise. Technically, maybe a law enforcement in a home, but it couldn't be, we could not legally, by the terms of our license, ever say, oh, here's a bottle of whatever, and then here's a glass and a cup of ice, and allow someone to consume that, either in our store or outside in our parking lot. And the same holds true for our malt beverage license. Somebody cannot consume our malt, anything within our malt beverage license, either in the store or outside of our store, with the exception of the confines of our video lottery. So, and the state mandates that to have a video lottery license, in which you issued us an on sale specifically for the premise inside our casino.
I don't drink, so
Sure,
I
that's
have,
fine.
I have no clue on,
Yeah.
is it like whiskey?
Yeah,
Is that
would
what it
be
is?
whiskey.
That's what I'm like,
Basically,
I'm asking.
any liquor other
Yeah.
than
Then
malt
beer
beverage or
or
beer, you
beer.
could say beer
So,
and
like,
wine.
or wine, yeah.
Okay.
So we
it
actually
would
have
be like
two licenses now in our store, which is malt beverage, beer,
beer.
and there are some malt-based wines, and then we have a wine and farm wine license now that
Okay.
has been issued by the city.
Okay.
So,
That's basically what
Yeah.
I was asking,
Good
if
question,
it was
though.
like whiskey or,
yeah.
Gin.
All part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
okay, now I know.
Thank you.
Like, does it have to be locked up? Like, I'm just thinking Casey's and Hayward. You go in there
Mhm.
and they sell it and it's behind glass and it's
Yeah.
not all locked, but
Sure.
you don't have to.
No, and we would try to be as responsible as we could or put it in a good location to sell it, as well as responsibly sell it, so somebody
Inside,
can't walk in and,
Yeah.
we wouldn't want somebody underage to get it, nor would we want
Just like the
a bottle
cigarette,
to
like
go
the
up. so-
cigarettes,
Yes,
basically,
yeah,
like,
mhm.
okay.
Okay.
So obviously, anybody that did sell any of that would have to be 21. How does it work with the malt liquor and with the wine? Do they have to be 21? or-
No, it's based upon the percentage, it's based upon the percentages of your sales And it's, I don't have that document with me, but the state issues that along. And I believe some years we get it from your office too, in terms of if less than 50% of your sales are from malt beverage, then that person can be 18 or less.
Okay.
Or 18, it has to be 18 or
18 or
higher,
over.
but doesn't have to be 21.
Gotcha.
But because of the video lottery, we are required to have somebody on premise that's 21 or older anyway, so. It's just, we viewed it as an opportunity to try to grow our business, and we understand the franchise agreement that we sign every year with the city for the responsibility of selling alcohol and wine, and we'd like to possibly extend that to packaged liquor.
So currently, somebody that does go into the casino portion, they could purchase a bottle of beer, or a glass of beer, or not a
Mhm.
glass, a can of beer, and they could actually consume it in there.
Right,
And it still wouldn't be the case with harder liquor.
yeah, under
correct?
no circumstances would
Okay,
that be the case.
I just clarifying that.
But good question.
I do know right now that our manager mandates we always have the cashier's 21. So if we have a younger student that we're employing, give them work experience and they're working in the kitchen and they are on the register, if any beer or anything goes through, even though right now legally they could bring them up, she still will not allow them, and they will
Gotcha.
get a 21-year-old and sell it. So we're already being super cautious and proactive on that.
Excellent.
And one of the things the council might not be aware of either is we are held, it's basically tobacco and alcohol management, it's called TAM training. And if one of our clerks sells alcohol, either beer, wine, or liquor, if they're not TAM trained, our establishment would pay a $1,000 fine, and the clerk would pay a $300 fine. So it's not like that we don't take this responsibility very seriously, and then we are held to that responsibility from the state as well. And if they're TAM trained, it's still a $500 fine to us, and that's not very fun to pay.
I don't know if anybody has any other discussion or questions. Appreciate your time, and I guess we will move on then, unless you've got more that you'd like to add.
No, I don't. No.
Then we'll move on to letter B, and we would need a motion to approve a public hearing Tuesday, July 13th, 2021 at 6:15 p.m. for this specific reason.
I'll make a motion to approve a public hearing on Tuesday, July 13th, 2021 at 6:15 p.m.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the public hearing dated on Tuesday, July 13th, 2021 at 6:15 p.m. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes. 6 is not with us anymore, so number 7. It does say Larry Nelson,
Yeah.
but he's gone to the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah. That's right. We left, yeah, at home. I don't have a whole lot tonight, Mayor, other than the stuff I sent you and the finance officer. We, meaning my dad, while I was gone, took care of the agreement with DA Davison, some of the provisions that they were concerned about, and then the AMKO advisors provisions with respect to liability, and then their scope of services. We reached agreement with those folks, so those are ready for signature, so that we can move forward on the bonding issue. We are still in negotiations with Banner without going too deep into it. We've been in touch with Mr. Wheeler, their attorney. We've found some common ground on a lot of the issues. The last kind of back and forth that has happened is Dad put a couple pieces of suggested language in ball in their court on those, so to speak. We have not heard back from Mr. Wheeler yet. I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow and see where he's at. But I think we're getting pretty close to having something that everybody can live with on that. And then, Pat, I'm not stealing your thunder necessarily, but if I remember correctly, you told me today that we had one of our nuisance properties, they came in and got a building permit, so it's great news. Fingers crossed that we get that done. Any questions for me?
Anybody have any questions? Notice that there's a section there that says motion to blank, and
Oh, that's a different topic.
that doesn't have to do with the AMCO document, the signatures.
No, you're on 7 right now.
6 is gone.
Sorry. Yeah, I was looking at 6 and talking about 7, right? Good. All right, no other updates from the legal side. So, I saw Lonnie come in earlier, and we've got a street improvement document or 2 in your packet. You wanna start us out, Lonnie? And
Sure. So, a couple months back, the mayor, Pat, and I started discussing how we were gonna go about taking care of some of these bad spots, like on Union, 4th, and 3rd, and basically, we get a rain, they turn into a mud hole, there's not a real good gravel base in there. I have added gravel into, like, Joe Constance in front of his, down by Cole Brant's, and that has helped, and they are solid now, but they aren't gonna stay that way. So we started talking more like, how do we fix this? And so basically, the thing you guys got in your packet, email, would require us to rent about the largest mini X they make, because it's a rubber track, so we can move it around, and we'd go in and we'd take a foot of the road out, and we'd lay a geogrid in, which is to help stabilize the ground. So it creates a buffer basically between the clay layer that's there, and then we put a Iowa Class A, which is crushed quartz, in there. And we pack it in, and then we leave it for a year, and then have to double seal over it. So basically, that pricing that you got there, the Ziegler cat rental on the rubber excavator would be $5,750 or $5,750 a month. LG Evers, 740 tons delivered. And I want to touch on that. So if we're putting 740 tons in, I have to take 740 tons out. So we have to haul all that out with our 8-ton truck. I didn't do the math on how many loads that would be, but it's a lot. And then Brock White out of Sioux Falls is a distributor of road products, and we need 5 rolls of that geogrid to lay in there. So that brings us to about $29,073 worth of product we'd have to buy to bring it in. You got a map, kind of everything I'm thinking about that we need to go in and do this to. The other option we thought, or I thought of today, was to do an asphalt overlay, an 1.5-inch overlay on this stuff. So it'd give us a little bridging. Since they're firm now, it should be fine. We just gotta make sure that it seals. So, and the good thing about putting an asphalt overlay in is it would bring that road back up. Our problem, like by Joe Constance's, it's flat there. So the water goes there, it just wants to sit, doesn't want to go away. So if we bring that up, the water should shed to the side again. Same thing for his neighbor to the south, Jamie Norcines, Kyle Thompson's. Where they park, it's not as bad as up by Joe's, but I noticed it was starting to get some wear this spring in tire tracks. And so if we overlay that, that would keep the water in the gutter instead of sitting out on the street. So basically, our asphalt quote that we got today, for everything, if we did everything on that original map you guys got in your packet, it would be about $22,000 compared to the $29,000 if we dug it. The benefit of asphalt is they come in, they're gonna do this all in a day or two. Whereas I might have like Joe Constance or down in front of the governor's house, I might have to close that road for a week to get this work done. Being as that Dale goes to Sioux Falls 3 days a week, Parker's gotta take care of his stuff too, so it's not like I have a ton of help, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of this myself. They'll come in, they'll overlay this with asphalt, and they're in and out, and we've had him do this asphalt guy, Stevenson, we've had him do other spots and they've held up. And they're basically done the same thing, they just overlaid what we had.
The other thing is we saved $7,000 and we know this is temporary in a lot of these spots because of the sewer projects that are coming down the pike here. So assuming that, I think we kind of guesstimated 3, maybe 4 years, this would possibly be excavated again.
Right.
So saving some money now is not a bad idea either.
Part of that asphalt thing, I did add on a little piece over by Don Drowns. It's about 215 feet long.
Yep.
It'll be 12 foot wide. I could go in and patch every little individual spot like I have in the past, but the water works its way in there. So if we had one continuous piece through there, it should hold up a lot longer and at least get us to this point where we're looking at doing new utilities.
So on your new map, that is the pink that does not have a black square around it and approximately a $5,000 average. And that's up on between 5th and 6th on the west side of the road. Yes.
Bonnie, do you know if there are sewer water lines down the middle of Union?
Down the middle of Union, there's not any in Union. There's crossings, I believe, on sewer possibly. The water is actually probably right on the east curb going down Union.
And the sewer is down the alley.
Yeah. We talked about that earlier.
Well, we've had a number of people that have, and especially in some of these areas, they've complained, and rightly so. I mean, we put a lot of chip seal down, but you don't want to put chip seal down on something like this because it's just a total waste of money. So going a little bit further and getting it, a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years worth of life out of it, I think that's kind of what we were thinking.
The first time we ever used Stevenson's asphalt was when we had real bad road breakup on Lee Drive, coming down the hill next to the Scott residence. And I want to say that was 2015 when we did that. And it has held up all this time.
Without garbage truck.
Oh.
Now, regarding the $29,000 quote that he was talking about, I don't know if you guys noticed that this out here was done. And that's basically what he's talking about. They dug it down, they put in that geogrid and then put a base in, but then they left it for a year. And that leaving it for a year, it wasn't maybe quite so bad here because it's, it's quite graded anyway, so water moved. But if you leave some of those areas for an entire year, we could have some pretty healthy ruts in areas. So that maybe is also another good argument for the asphalt mat. So,
What are they gonna do up by you, what's happening there? with
Oh.
the
they
road?
will put it in.
Visions will fix that when they.
They
do the
will
parking
fix
lot.
it, okay.
Yep. You don't like our built-in speed bump?
No. Rain affects that too.
But rain.
Yeah, right.
Well, you can see, I mean, there is a need. There are a number of people that have talked about a number of these areas. And obviously, if we didn't have to spend so much time dealing with them, we quite possibly could do a number of other areas that we haven't been able to get to.
So Pat, do we have $29,000 or $27,000 somewhere in the budget to do this?
We don't have it in the budget, we would have to do a supplement to it, and it would probably come from some of the monies we received last year.
Could you read the number again, was it 22?
22 if we do not do that
Drowns.
12 by 215 foot strip by Drowns.
Oh,
So if we do that, then we're up to 27.
Yes.
27.
But then up here, that doesn't include that either then. It would be more up here if we included that too. In the 29,000, if we included, that's not including drowns, right?
No, the 29,000 would just be not done. We wouldn't do that. Is that what
Okay,
you're asking?
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they're two separate options.
Okay,
This
all
or
right,
this. So,
okay.
yeah.
And the other thing is the time involved. I mean,
Yeah,
honest labor is
absolutely.
not included in that 29,000.
I was
to
told.
have it done in just a few days would be pretty
Yeah.
nice.
He said if we, the asphalt guy said if we went the asphalt route, probably next week. So,
Wow,
They're a very fast crew, they come up
Wow.
from Texas every year.
perfect time. I mean, we don't have a lot of mud right now, so.
And you got to experience them in the alley. That's who did the work for
Oh.
Texas in the alley.
Oh, yeah.
Because those alleys have been holding up good,
They have been.
and there is truck traffic up some of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it would be prohibitive to do those spots with 6 inches of cement, wouldn't it?
I think that price is gonna go real high.
Cement's over 100, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been for quite a while. So, and then we'd have to actually remove
Yeah.
that 6 inches of material.
So you'd probably need the $5,700 excavator.
Yeah,
And some of that Iowa Class A too, because you don't want to put cement on,
no, on clay.
you know, or foundation.
All those areas need something.
Yeah, they do.
Someday it's gonna rain again.
Yeah. And I
Thursday.
mean, that's one
Thursday, we do have a chance Thursday.
one thing we can do is take advantage of the fact that it is dry and that it is good time to do this, so. Any other input you'd like to provide, or,
No, it's in your guys' court.
okay? Well, you can see, in order for us to do anything, we would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to do the asphalt surfacing for the properties plus Don Brown's in front of his repair.
I'll second. Okay, so I'm gonna use Brian as a second. If you had started with.
Nope, that's okay, that's good.
So, just to clarify, I believe that you would effectively say you're talking about the pink areas on this sheet.
Yep, plus Don's.
Well, and that is, right?
Pink, yeah, it's pink.
Oh, it is up
It's the
there.
one that's up.
It's just,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the motion has been made to, I don't know if you, well, I guess if you don't need to deal with that one. To perform the asphalt surfacing that Lonnie was just discussing in those pink areas on this map. Motion's made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes. We'll go on to number 9. And we'll start with the police department head. We have Chief Sculler. You know how difficult that is to say? I mean, not because I don't want to say it, but I'm so used to calling the officer Sculler. I've gone, oh, Chief
Yeah.
Sculler.
I still write officer in reports. Nothing too new. I guess I'm back from vacation. First one in 3 years, so that was kind of nice to go and do. The police pickup is still down, getting work done. I dropped it off right before I went up because I had to jump it every single morning. So there's a short somewhere, so they're trying to find it. That's all I really have.
Are you getting any part-time help?
I've not gotten any part-time help yet.
Have you considered, one time we had kind of had a little bit of a dialogue, just a thought, and you had mentioned that you may be aware of, or you are aware of some individuals that may be a good fit as an officer, or, I mean, they may be the chief material too. I don't know how that's all gonna come out yet, but have you thought about any of that yet, or?
Well, I haven't tried to think because I'm not guaranteed any position, so, when we've had that dialogue, I guess it's, planning if it happens, like I've told you guys before, I think big picture, being here for 4 years plus, I guess, counting part-time, almost 5 years. I'm thinking big picture and trying to plan ahead. So if it don't pan out, it don't pan out, but if it does, then I've talked to them and maybe shooting an application their way.
You haven't talked to them then?
I have talked to them.
You have,
yes,
okay, then,
yes.
yeah, okay.
So I'm not alone by myself forever.
All right.
Good. Maybe we should get a whole bunch of neighborhood watch signs. One on every street.
Yeah.
Video cams.
South Dakota's an open carry state too, so it put signs like that up all
That's-
over the place. Just keep in mind that people can be carrying.
How did it go when the county was taking over?
I heard there was 0 calls,
Okay,
so it
just,
sounded
I was
like,
just curious.
the town was well behaved.
Everybody was good.
Yep, they heard the county was covering, so.
They were just waiting until they knew you were back.
Yeah.
Well, I do know that the Public Safety Committee is going to be meeting.
Yes.
And when they do, they will start to glean from the applicants that we've already gotten. Obviously, you are also an applicant, and so we'll be in touch in the very near future. So,
Thank you for the heads up.
anybody else have anything for the chief, or do you have anything else?
I don't believe so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Austin.
I don't know if you got anything other than what you've already discussed, Bonnie, the streets?
Just
I have to, so.
wanted to let you know, I'm addressing the
If not, I
weeds
have
and the
access
gutters
to Jeff, so.
now, so getting the time to do that.
Okay.
And if the ambulance has problems and you guys approve it, I mean, I can go help them out too.
Especially in that rocky area that,
If they don't have
it
a
could all just
license.
be ground clear.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's considered public property down there, I don't know. If it isn't, I can't help them, but,
They are their own entity.
okay, so I
It
can't
is
help
not
them,
public.
so, all right. But anyways, is there if I jump to D quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to address the alarm thing that Vicki had asked about. When the tower initially went low, I actually noticed it at the shop and went up there. And I was wondering why it was low and we weren't alarmed. And I found my way into the settings and we were actually disarmed for a low-level alarm. And I just wanted to be everybody clear on that, and I don't know how that happened, because we don't mess with those settings unless we see it fit. So whoever did that, it was not from the city of Alcester. With that being said, I armed it, and it does tell us now. So there's nothing wrong with the alarm. It is a valve issue, but initially, it was disarmed. So,
Is that building where the alarm system is locked?
yes. Yes. So I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, I'm just saying, when we did some things in the past, the other entity would do this for us remotely. Maybe it's been disarmed this whole time, I don't know. Or power surge, I don't know. We've had some funky things happen up there between batteries, and they've remedied that with a different style battery pack. But I just wanted to be transparent on it. We did find an alarm off, so.
And as far as the valve goes, the valve is here. It's not in, right? But we do have a valve.
That would be a question for Dale. I think he did show up with a smaller valve, and that wasn't gonna keep our tower up and going, so.
He came up with a 2.5-inch line and Dale wants a 3,
Yeah.
which is what we have is a 3. So he doesn't want to go smaller.
So it's still in the works. It's still coming.
Is it a fail close valve?
I don't know how that actually works. I do know we have a 2-inch line that comes from the tower to basically a pressure transducer of some sort that signals out an alarm, and it signals for open and close on a valve. As soon as that thing hits 113 feet, it should be alarming us.
Okay, that'd be a fail close.
I would think so.
And when it hits 122 or 3, 124,
124.
it calls us and tells us it's high. So, and I got those calls Saturday night?
Yeah.
Saturday night, yes. So, it does work, and it does go from the first person to the next person, like it's supposed to. It goes to Dale 10 times?
That I don't
More?
know.
I don't know. It was a lot. But then it went to me, and then I think that's where it ends. It just starts over probably, so. That's all I got.
Thank you. I don't see Parker here.
He's at the landfill.
Are we, of course, are we able to, I mean, obviously, there's not a lot of mowing going on, but
Well,
still weeds grow.
yes. There needs to be some mowing and some weeding done.
I was wondering, Mr. Mayor, if we're going to replace the trees that didn't make it through the winter.
At the cemetery? I would sure think we would want to. Cemetery has, I mean, it has funds. I don't know how much they can set aside for something like that.
I think that the first method would be to see if they could be warranted. Because they haven't been there a year.
Oh. Where did they come from?
TNS Nursery in Hayward.
Oh, good. Well, that's encouraging. Yeah, it's a good idea to maybe Park could check on that, like soon. Tomorrow would be a good day.
Do we know what kind of work, is it, it's a year?
Usually
Like,
it's,
even with the condition, like the unusually dry conditions, it still fall under that?
well,
Hard to say. We'd have to find out from them.
Okay.
But we should start the dialogue at least to find out. Well, we'll move on to the library department.
No updates there, summer readings continuing, and everything's going good.
And then the finance office.
the new cash register system is installed out at the golf clubhouse. The employees seem to be getting along with it quite nicely. The closing statement is automatically emailed to our office every night. So I think this will be good software for us in the fact that it will keep track of trends. You can look and see what items are selling, what are not. So I think that's good. I was very proud of Michael the other day. There was a situation that needed to be resolved, and an employee called him, and he came back in and resolved it swiftly. So he did a really good job. So,
He also got a 100%, right?
yeah. So,
And that was a legitimate one. Last year, we were talking about this too. Last year, we got 100%, but with COVID being as much of a concern, they kind of came in and went, looks good, and left. That was it. So this year, they did an inspection, so good news. Anything else that you can think of? How about the golf course?
Well, we're watering like crazy, and where we water is nice and green. So, we'll hope everything continues to work. There's been quite a bit of golfing done out there. We're still getting memberships in due to the efforts of our staff out there to remind those that maybe haven't paid yet that it's time. So, the last week or so, I think we picked up 2 or 3 more paid up memberships, so that's good.
At one time, one year, and I can't remember how long ago this was, but there was kind of like an incentive, and I can't remember what it was. It was
we do it every year.
X% off if they pay by May 1st or May 15th. So is there a way to say, if you don't pay by, I don't care, we'll say June 15th, it's 10% more? I mean, can you put some teeth into that to say, you know, this doesn't run on,
I suppose you could. Maybe people are going to torque off and they're going to go somewhere else.
I don't know, but I find it difficult to believe that somebody can be a deadbeat golfer and think that their golf course is going to continue to be a good golf course.
I know exactly.
Yeah, that's my feeling too, but once in a while, we still have somebody that must apparently forget past
Multiple
May
times.
15th. And then
June
ignore the
15th.
letter that I send out or hand them and take 2 or 3 more reminders from the staff, so.
So do they just golf?
Yeah, they'll come and golf. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a member.
Dave, you know, they can't golf somewhere else, something happens to their kneecaps, just saying.
Well, I do have a nice 9 iron.
There you go. Pitching wedge to the kneecap.
Other people might see that and go, well, you better take care of that.
There was an issue a while ago with someone that had a cart in the shed, and I was going to put a chain around it until I paid the cart rental and padlock. And Mr. Nelson, the former, said we couldn't do that unless we had an agreement signed by all the cart rental people that could be happening. So I pretty much have that agreement written out. And it will be, if anybody moves, before they move into the new cart shed, they will sign that.
Okay.
And we will have that taken care of. Hopefully, you know, we'll get the word out that this is a pay to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they want the place to look nice. It's just like the streets. You want the streets to look nice, well, that's what taxes do. So. for the golf course, or did we move on to the
Let's move on.
cart shed inspection by the summer rec?
Oh, I just left that on there until they make a decision.
Okay, we'll just move on to reminders and updates then. Obviously, swimming lessons are going to be June 21st through July 2nd. There's a free greens fees weekend, July 10th and 11th. Swimming lessons, July 19th through the 30th, second session. And then, of course, the Union County Fair, August 5th through the 7th. There's some pretty exciting stuff coming for that, so. As a matter of fact, one of the things we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But, we'll move on to item 11, and the Alcester Community Center.
Pat, do we have a meeting this week?
No, we had one last week.
We have cement in the main building
Woo-hoo!
and walls,
Some
And
walls,
walls,
yeah.
yes.
so things are progressing. Did a lot of, when we got the cement poured, it made a lot of difference. We got a lot of things done in a few days, so. I'm sure now they're waiting for the electrician to come and do the wiring and before they start covering up the walls.
I think they've already started some of the electrical work.
Okay.
I know that we've asked it before, and I guess we don't need to ask it at every meeting, but has he given you any indication, are they a little bit closer to on track instead of just a little behind?
No.
No indication?
They gave us a date, but we don't like that date.
Okay, we'll just say a little behind. Works. Anything else for the community center?
I have nothing else.
Okay, go on to the fair board. I know there was a meeting.
We had a meeting, it was a pretty good meeting. Some kind of exciting things. We've got our Lickens band on Thursday night. Friday night, we have the tractor pull and the kids pedal pull. And then it's all approved for the Bronco riding on Saturday night. We have the parade on Saturday afternoon. SDSU ice cream truck has said they've come all 3 days. So we're kind of pumped about that. And there's a couple other things possible yet, so.
You said Bronco riding,
Yeah, I
but
thought
isn't
it
it
was
bull
bull-
riding?
Bull riding,
That's what I
yes,
thought.
bull riding.
Is this the same, what's the name of that company? Are they the ones that are coming to Sioux Center to the,
I don't know, they're from Iowa.
They
So
are
the-
from Iowa, yeah.
is it the same one?
I
Could
don't know
be,
that.
Because they're having bull ring, I can't remember what.
FBI is the company name.
What is it?
FBI.
Probably the ones that do Cherokee, that's the big rodeo.
Well, this was just their county fair, so that's why I wondered if it was the same one. And they've never had it in Sioux
We're
either.
looking for some bigger sponsors. So if people sponsor for over 500, they will get a big sign on the gates. I know Janet has sent out letters for sponsorships, but they're basically for trophies. So I've talked to a couple businesses in town, and I'm gonna bring them, I had Janet send me some more information, which she did on Friday. I'm gonna bring it back to them. Because some have given, like, for example, they've given $150, but if they give enough to make 500, they get some advertising down on them. And then there's a chance we could do this every year. And then we're trying to keep our costs down. So maybe it's only $10 a ticket, we haven't exactly figured that out yet. And then kids under a certain age wouldn't have to pay, so we could get a bigger group there. We would like a big group.
I can talk to Sue, I bet they'd be able to.
Oh, okay, I'll sure we can get you a
Super
letter.
active and anything like that.
Well, I mean, I talked to a couple people and they said, well, if we just knew, we maybe would do that. So I think we gotta get that.
Yeah,
Out there, which would make it a benefit to everyone in the long run, so.
Do the people in the south end of the county know that these options are
Well, they're
for
supposed to.
advertising or.
They're supposed to be
available.
going to those too.
Yeah, it shouldn't be Alcester and Beersford. that
Well,
have
we've
to
said that
do this
before.
one.
Sometimes it's just Alcester.
Yeah,
Even Beersford isn't real. There's some over there, but.
but you know, we got a bunch of, there's a lot of businesses down there.
Well, even
Go to
Hayward,
dudes.
we give Baumgars a lot of business in Hayward during the fair, a lot of business. So I'm seriously thinking of going over there because the fair gives them a lot of business, so.
We should have talked to Jeff tonight.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we should. Poet, were they gonna talk to Poet? Somebody was.
So I don't know who that was gonna be.
Oh, it's usually pretty.
Yeah, they're
they
pretty
jump on
good.
board and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Waddy? Adam
I was
Waddy?
thinking
Oh,
why.
yeah, he'd be
I would-
all over that.
Oh, yeah, I
He
think
likes
so
rodeo.
too. I would definitely hit him up. Because he is in Union County too. He has
Yes, he is.
the casino in North Sioux.
Yep, yep. Oh, that is the
Oh.
same guy.
Yes, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Landmark Construction might even jump in. They're not here. There's a lot of people from here that work there.
And I just think it'd be a benefit to town.
Yeah.
It would be a very good benefit to town.
Well, an alliance, I mean, you can talk to,
Yeah,
obviously, Alcoda and Custom Coils and any business.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dan's on my list.
Pat and I have our
Good idea.
own list. We got this book about the fair, and I had said all along, I knew we had had a rodeo. And in 1975, I think, we had a big rodeo.
Really?
So I remember that we had down on the fairgrounds during the Sheena days, so, it'll be fun. If we can't get a carnival, this might be another avenue.
Might be better. So what year is this, you told me?
Well, really, it's 91, but
But
We
you're
did
doing
have it
90
last
because
year.
last year
Yeah.
was kind of a down year?
Last year, the 4-H was not involved.
Because
Last
of
year was the
COVID.
parents. took
So
it.
that's why this is considered 90?
yeah,
kind
that's
of?
why we're doing the parade.
The parade, because I knew we
Yeah.
did the parade, how many years ago then?
5 years ago.
5 years.
What, like every five?
Well,
they
6
do?
years ago. When it was
Yeah,
85.
yeah, right, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And they're gonna try to have a display in the building of some, she said, old pictures of
Past.
things in the past, so, yeah, like, there's still a free supper.
It's gonna be beef this year, the supper.
Yeah, it's already
For
been
dinner.
donated by somebody out of Sioux City. How many? It was a lot of, pretty good chunk of meat. Yeah.
Beef, cheesy potatoes, ice cream.
Yeah.
I think that might be it.
Well, speaking of a parade, obviously you can see there's a motion to approve the parade. And Chief Sculler was here and we've had a little bit of dialogue regarding one portion of the parade that's actually going to go the wrong way down Iowa. And so they were made aware of the fact that we would need some assistance in getting across 11, road blocking, et cetera. So that kind of thing is in the works, but, excuse me, we as a council, or you as a council, need to approve the parade moving south on Iowa Street.
We're going.
From Second
We're going
Second to first.
the
to-
wrong
to the-
way on the one way.
fairgrounds,
Right.
basically. Well, the minute they get across First, it's okay.
They'll start at the school. That's how they've done it in the past.
Okay.
Started the,
And then come
Okay.
down by the nursing home and across
To the
to
left
Main.
church.
Yep, they'll go
To
up Church
Second.
Street to Second, and then across Second, across
Highway
11 on Second.
Okay,
And then
so-
they
And
wanna
then we'll
go
go the
down,
way.
so it goes right
So
into
it's
the
just one block,
fairgrounds.
though,
So,
that they're gonna
yeah,
go down,
just
right?
the one
Right.
block.
Yep.
How
But
much
it does
is-
go against our ordinance of
Yeah.
having
Mhm.
traffic. And it
Mhm.
wouldn't be so bad if it was all foot traffic, but you will have tractors and
Vehicles.
motorized vehicles, yeah.
So it's just from Second that way?
Yep, from the bank,
From
from the
the
bank
bank,
south.
Bank to south, yeah.
That way,
The fairground.
We'll end up on the fairgrounds.
yeah. I'll motion to approve the parade Saturday, August 7th, 2021 at 3:30 PM. Route includes traveling south on Iowa Street from Second to the fairgrounds
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the parade route Saturday, August 7th, 2021 at 3:30 PM. And the route includes traveling south on Iowa Street from 2nd to the fairgrounds. Is there any discussion? Excuse me. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes. We got a parade. Item 13 is executive session, and it says,
Before you
We
do
got
that-
city council.
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't know if Darla
Over the top.
would be able to participate, but, because you might be on something else, but I do think it would be a good representation of the city to have a city council float with the mayor and you guys, if you would consider doing that. So you can think about it. If you want to, we could do golf carts. If you'd rather do that, or we could figure out a pickup or some sort of a trailer. But I just think it would be a good representation to have the city council and mayor, possibly city attorney, be on our float. So you have time to think about it, but I do think it would be good, and I would get you some fun stuff to throw.
It's a great idea.
I agree.
Maybe we could even do something about the
Community
the
center.
community center
Yes.
or
Yeah,
the
that would
golf
be-
course.
yeah.
And,
Yep.
you know,
Pool or park.
pool, yeah.
Library.
They're all candy that's shaped like jewels. Say, this is your small town treasure.
Because we voted that you can throw candy out, we voted that.
Yes.
Oh, you can?
We can,
Oh.
yeah.
So we'll just drive our lawnmowers.
That'd be awesome.
Side by sides, I don't know. Be flexible.
We'll figure something out. That's a great idea. Okay, now that we're done with letter B, there is a section here, number 13, that calls for an executive session for personnel.
I make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 125-2-1 personnel.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, parentheses 1, for personnel. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5 yes, and we are in executive session. I'm going to call it 7:04 PM. Well, everyone's in here, and I guess I got 8:07 PM. Out of executive session. Now, as you can see, the next thing is executive session is needed for any other than personnel reason. I don't hear anybody saying anything. So then we got item 15. I would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second. Cindy.
All right, I've got Linda down and Cindy down. Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:08.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you all.
Thank you.